Okay, welcome back from the break, and we're still talking love. And we need to also stay healthy to express that love we want to show our partner. And so today we have Helena Inti, a nutritionist, here with us to talk about hydration, how we can stay, hydrated in this. I don't know whether the Hamatan is back or not, but Helena will be taking us to how we need to stay, hydrated to meet the weather. But Helena, how is your vows day going so far?
Well, so far so good. God has been faithful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any plans tonight?
Oh, not yet.
Only taking enough water.
Staying well hydrated. The
Well
Hamatan is
hydrated.
really bad.
Yes.
Okay.
It is.
So let's talk about hydration. If we say hydration, let's define it.
Okay, so when we say hydration, it just means maintaining a good a good level of water. Staying well hydrated just means it's a process of maintaining good water composition in the body. Okay, so that's just it. And it means that we have to take in water. We have water in our foods. We have water in the drinks and juices that we take. So that's how we can stay hydrated.
Okay. But looking at the weather, I think since yesterday or 2 days ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah. It's been...
It's really dry.
Yeah, it's really dry.
So it means that we need to take in more water. So one would ask, how much water am I supposed to take? And one sign that you are dehydrated is thirst. So it means that we need to get water on hand that we can be sipping on. When you wake up in the morning, you can take a glass of water. Before you go to bed, you can take another glass. You take in juices. And during the day, once you have a bottle on hand, you can be sipping on that as you go on.
Once we do not have the right water composition in our body, it means we are dehydrated.
Yes, definitely.
What is the first sign?
Okay, so the first sign, like I mentioned, is thirst. And then you could also have dry lips. Your skin could be dry as well. It could be blotchy. It could be flashed. Some of us are dark, so some of these signs, you don't see them very well. But once you see some of these signs, it means that you are dehydrated. These are mild signs that you are dehydrated. So there are severe implications of dehydration, and that has implications on our kidneys and our cardiovascular health as well. Wow. Because, for instance, if you are dehydrated, if you are severely dehydrated, it means that the blood volume or the amount of blood in your body is going to be reduced. And once that happens, the heart has to compensate for that, and it does that by pumping faster. Okay. And so the dehydrated person could have palpitations and all that. So it's important for us to stay well hydrated to prevent some of these effects that it comes with.
Okay, but so let's look at some of the benefits of hydration.
Okay, so
now that we know implications, definitely it's going to be having.
Sure. So it's good to stay well hydrated because taking the right amount of water or having the right water composition in the body, water helps in digestion, and it also helps to transport nutrients around the body, and also it helps to control the body temperature. It also helps to cushion our organs and our joints, and it also helps in having regular bowels as well. So it's very important for us to stay well hydrated. These are some of the
you
great
mentioned
benefits.
that you could be taking food drinks, right?
Fluids.
Or anything fluid. But talking of the drinks, we have some drinks that have some I don't know how to, but it has some artificial additives and preservatives in there, which might, although we think that we are taking some juice or some fluid, but it might bring some effect on us. So what do we check if we are getting drinks just to get hydrated?
Okay, so that's a good question, and I will also always recommend the fresh juices. Usually, if you have time, you can make it at home by yourself. But that's why it's good to read food labels so that you know what's really in the drink and what's good and what's not good for you. But ideally, I will go in for fresh juice. I'll recommend the natural juices as well.
Okay, so I think
so that's the best. So water is the best fluid you can have to stay well hydrated. However, the drinks, the drinks we take in, the fruits, even the whole foods, all kinds of foods that we take in provide us some amount of water. Okay, but we need to take extra amounts of water. For example, the amount depends on the age of the person, the sex, the climate. Like we have the dry weather right now. It depends on all that. But on the average, a woman can take about 2 liters a day, and a man can take about 3 liters a day. But looking at the weather, you may have to take more to make up for the dryness of the weather.
But if you take more, is there not going to be some effect?
Well, taking too much of everything
water
is bad. Okay, so first off, on demand, when you are thirsty, you drink water. You don't wait until you are too thirsty. That has implications on your heart and your kidneys, like I mentioned earlier. So too much of it too can also have negative implications on your health as well.
Okay, can we look at hydration and exercising? If you exercise a lot, does it mean you have to drink a lot of water?
Yes, that's also a good question, definitely. So once you are exercising, you are losing water through sweat, through breathing, and even also excreting waste. These are ways that we can lose water. So once you are losing, you need to replenish, and you need good amount of water. You need good amount of juices, like even coconut water. That helps, because once you are losing water, you don't just lose the water alone. There are some nutrients that are also lost through sweating. So it's important that once you are exercising, you can also be taking in water. And even when you are eating, especially for the dry foods, before you have your meals, you can take some amounts of water, and then after that you can also take some amounts of water, especially with the dry meals.
Okay. And then research says that the brain needs about 75% of water. For what for?
Okay, so the body itself is made of about 60% water. So once the body needs about 60% water, it's needed, like I mentioned, some functions of water earlier, for transportation of nutrients around the body, for maintaining body functions, for the body's metabolism. And you know, whatever we do, everything that we do, is the brain that gives signals. Messages are sent to the brain so that we're able to react and perform our daily duties. So it needs water, definitely, to perform its functions. So it's very important.
Wow.
Okay. So benefits of staying hydrated.
Yeah, that's
is
on the screen.
Yeah.
So you get to know. Please learn from it. If it's possible, just take a screenshot of what we are showing or we've displayed on the screen at the moment. So productivity boost and toxic remover.
Yeah.
Wow. Just
You know, urine too is made of water, and that's one way we remove toxic substances from the body. So.
Okay. All right. Right. I think it's been quite a beautiful one, and that we've gotten to know that there's a need for us to take a lot of water and fluids on daily basis.
Yes, on
so
daily
that we
basis.
don't keep ourselves thirsty for a long
Throughout
time.
the day.
Because people would say that, oh, I don't like a lot of water. I don't like to take enough water. And from morning to evening, somebody can take just a glass of water.
No, that's not the best.
Yeah.
That's not
But
the best. Unless, of course, the person is getting water from other juice. Maybe the person is a juice person, and so they get water from all those sources. Otherwise, I think it's really strange for someone to stay without water the whole day.
And lastly, I would ask you, when I'm eating, some say that I should take water 30 minutes before eating or 30 minutes after eating. But in between meals, whilst I'm eating and I take water, it's not healthy. How true is that?
Okay, so there is limited data on this particular issue, and there is really no evidence to suggest that is wrong. However, there are school of thoughts, and you know, some of these experiments, you don't get the ideal conditions to perform some of these examinations. So we can do it in the lab and create similar environmental conditions, but it's not the body system. So I believe that before you have your meals, maybe about 5 to 10 minutes before you have your meals, you can take in some amount of water. When you're having your meals and you are thirsty, you can take in some water, not too much of that. But that's not a recommendation I will give, that when you're having your meals, take water alongside, no. But when you're having your meals and you feel like you need water, you need to take in some water. And then after your meals, you can also take some water as well.
Okay.
I hope
So
I answered your question.
What about those of us who order for
Juice.
fried rice and put Coca-Cola by it, and as we eat, we sip?
Okay, so when you are eating, if it's a fruits, like I'm always saying that I'll always recommend the fresh whole fruits and all that. So as you are eating and you also have a drink by it, you are likely to increase your caloric intake. That's one way. So for people who are especially trying to lose weight, you don't want to toe on that line. But if it's a whole fruit like an orange, I mean, you have the fiber in there, so you are not taking too much calories in addition to the rice that you are having. So that's also important.
What about breastfeeding mothers?
So breast milk is also about 90% water.
Okay.
And so the breastfeeding mother also needs to take in a lot of water and juices as well to replenish the water they are losing.
Okay, there are no breastfeeding fathers, so I think it's quite all right. So it's been a beautiful one with Helena this morning, and she schooled us through the need to hydrate every now and then and stay hydrated, and don't starve yourself off water. It's not healthy to do that. So Helena, the nutritionist, has been with us in the studio this morning. We go for a quick break, we come back, and there's more for you. We'll be back shortly.
Okay.